So I'm here at home today, and a question I get a lot is the mud flap, the rock guard on the back of the truck. Most any company that you go with is going to require you have a rock guard, but you can make your own. Make sure you pay very close attention to the requirements of what they're looking for, and make sure you get it within spec, or they will turn it down, and you'll be stuck in Indiana needing a rock guard. But I do know people who have made their own, and it passed with flying colors. But I do believe that it's supposed to be the full width of the back of the truck and no more than 5 inches from the ground and no gaps. So anyway, I wanted to show you guys my rock guard that I got it put on at Dan's Service Center. It's been over a year ago. I can't remember exactly how long it's been. I've been getting a lot of questions about this, and I want to show you how it mounts to the truck because I wanted to know, are you going to be drilling holes? What are you going to be doing? But I want to go ahead and show you that now. All right, guys, so this is the rock guard that I got at Dan's Service Center in Elkhart, Indiana. The Gen Y hitch is kind of covering up some of it, but you can see it perfectly. I mean, it's not a big deal. Now, in order to put this on the Chevrolet, I did have to have my exhaust pipe turned out. I have a lot of people walking up saying, oh, wow, you got yours deleted. It's not deleted, it's just turned out. Speaking of that, I've had absolutely no issues since I turned it out. And I was worried about that as far as like back pressure and stuff, but that is just an elbow. They cut the pipe right there in the center and welded the coupler on, and then turned it out into an elbow, and I painted it black. So that's how that is. And a lot of people look at the mud flap and they say, well, that's not an Ultra Guard. It doesn't say Ultra Guard. I had them turn it around backwards and put the white to the inside. I thought it was a cleaner look. I like it a lot better. But if you can see, it does say Ultra Guard right there. Now, I don't know if you guys can see or not. Right up here, if you can see my finger, there's the bolt for this side. Now, it is kind of hard to get at, but like I say, it worked fine. And there's the white where I painted that so it wouldn't stand out being turned around backwards. But you know, it is the Ultra Guard mud flap, and like I say, you don't have to do a bunch of exhaust modification. Just take it to a muffler shop, have them cut it right here, put a coupler on, and just turn it right out. Even in the 18-wheeler, the reflectors are required by law. You got to have a reflector on the mud flap. So I really like those, the way that they're on there. I like that a lot better than the ones that were on my old one, because if you hit something, they would break. I know there's still pieces of the reflective lens here in my driveway where things would fly up from the road and hit the old ones and they would break, where that's just reflective tape. And I like it a lot better. At first, for the money, I wanted something a little bit more substantial, but as of right now today, I love that one. Now, if you're thinking about putting some work lights on, I got those on Amazon, and they are great. They've never given an issue, but they do cloud up and get moisture inside of them, so I would suggest sealing those lights, but that's another subject for another video. All right, this is a 2018 Chevrolet 3/4 ton, and what they had done, and I've kind of got it on widescreen, hoping that will make it easier to see. Right there, that one shiny bolt at the top, and there's one on each side, and they must have tightened it up pretty good because it's been a year and the thing has not moved. Now, like I said, if you see the spare tire, I was worried about there being room to get that out, but you can see there's daylight crack between it. It didn't give any issues at all. I helped a buddy of mine change his tire on a Dodge, and he had the same mud flap on the Dodge. It was kind of a pain in the butt, and his is loose. It moves back and forth. I don't think he had his put on at Dan's, but anyhow, that's about it from the backside, and it's exactly the same on both sides. Another selling point on this mud flap compared to the other one that I had is I have my air chuck here for my onboard air, where I can air up tires and stuff, and my emergency valve, air up valve for my airbags. Now, that is really convenient right there, and I love that this mud flap protects that from getting road salt, as much road salt and all that crap all over top of it. It would even be better if I would come in behind it and leave something going up to protect it even more, but that's been really good right there. And with it having both mud flaps on it, now the first thing they said when they put this mud flap on is they told me that one had to be lowered. They didn't have to put some attachments on and bring it on down to the ground. But I told them there are another set of holes in that mud flap where I can move it down toward the ground, but I drug those off, so I moved them back up. I have had this thing in pretty deep mud, stuck one time with this mud flap on, and it didn't damage it at all. Now the other mud flap, I tore it all to pieces because I buried it up twice with it on there. Whenever just going through the mud and stuff itself, just tore that mud flap up, mainly because of the hitch. The other mud flap set way back here. I actually had cutouts around my work lights for it, if you guys remember that. I'll try to put a picture of it up here. And it wasn't bad, but if you have a truck like I've got and the exhaust is in the way, I would prefer to have that exhaust turned out and put this flap on. Like I say, this thing's been on here over a year, and it's still perfect, just like it was the day they installed it. So this is the very first mud flap that I had installed on the truck. I had it installed at Dan's Service Center. You can see in this picture how low it hangs to the ground, and when I would sink it in the mud, it would come back and pinch between the Gen Y and the ground, and it eventually about ripped it off. But for a year and a few months, it did a really good job. Now, if you have these mud flaps right here, I believe these are WeatherTechs. They were on the truck when I bought it. What I did is I unbolted the bolts and I moved it further down to bring it 5 inches from the ground, and I bolted it back up, and that worked perfectly for me to get through the inspection. And then after I drug them off, you can see where they're torn. I drug them off and I moved them back up where they were. And when I go in for inspection, if there's anything said about it, I'll take a 10mm and take these bolts out, move it, drop it back down to 5 inches, get my inspection, and I'm gonna move them right back up. This has been this way for 2 years, you know, and I've not had any kind of rock damages or anything like that. I feel like it's sufficient. But if not, they will offer a solution of bolting an extension from here down. I don't want that, because if I drug these off, I'll drag the extensions off. So that's been well over a year ago. It was my inspection last year. So I did have a video that showed me having it in the shop, getting the exhaust cut and turned out and all that stuff. And then when I first put the rock guard on, you know, I said I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it. It looked to me like it hung lower to the ground. I was worried I was gonna hang it up on stuff. I was worried that the spare tire was gonna be harder to get at. None, it's not. I mean, that has been a very good investment for me. And I know I've seen other people make their own, and I have no doubt that I couldn't make my own. But if you're in a hurry and you're wanting to get it done right, and not have to worry about it anymore, I would recommend that mud flap all day from Dan's Service Center in Elkhart, Indiana. And you know, it seems a little pricey, but to me it's well worth the money. They put it on one time. I paid for it one time. I was there the better part of the afternoon waiting on to get it in and get it done, and I have not had to think about it again since. Half the time I forget it's back there. I've got buddies that don't want to run them because they're scared they'll drag them off or something like that. My personal opinion, if I haven't drug it off, you probably don't have anything to worry about. There's no telling where this truck will wind up. So that being, unless you do some hardcore off-roading in your transport truck, you know. So anyway, that's about all I know to tell. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you got something out of it, at least a better look at my mud flap, my rock guard. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.